Okay, so you figured out what to wear. You look the part. Now comes the moment of truth, actually showing up to play golf. And this is where a lot of people who think they're prepared suddenly realize they have no idea what they're doing. Here's the thing about golf. It starts way before you actually hit your first shot. How you handle yourself from the moment you pull into the parking lot sets the tone for your entire experience. Get this part right, and you're already ahead of half the people on the course. Get it wrong, and you're starting the day behind the 8 ball. First things first, timing. And I cannot stress this enough. If your tee time is at 10:30, you do not show up at 10:30. That's not being on time. That's being late. Golf courses run on schedules tighter than airline departures, and showing up exactly at your tee time is like showing up to catch a flight as they're closing the gate. You want to arrive at least 30 minutes before your tee time. 45 minutes is even better, and if you actually want to warm up and hit some practice balls, which is a really good idea, you're looking at an hour before your tee time. Why so early? Because there's stuff to do. You need to check in, pay for your round, get your cart if you're riding, figure out where everything is, and ideally hit a few balls on the practice range. Rushing through all of this, or worse, skipping it entirely, is not the way to start a round of golf. When you check in, be pleasant and organized. Have your ID ready. Know who's in your group. If you're playing as someone's guest, make sure they've called ahead and you're on the list. And please, for the love of all that's holy, have your payment method ready. Don't be the person digging through your wallet for 5 minutes while other people are waiting. This is also when you want to ask about any specific course rules or conditions. Is it cart path only today? Are there any holes under construction? Any local rules you should know about? The staff at the pro shop aren't just being chatty when they tell you these things. They're trying to help you have a better round and avoid any problems. Now, about carts. If you're riding, which most people do, you'll either be assigned a cart or need to pick one up. This seems simple, but there are things to know. First, check that everything works. Brakes, accelerator, reverse. Make sure it's charged if it's electric. Check that there are tees and ball washers on the cart. And here's something most people don't think about. Figure out how the GPS works if the cart has one. It's much easier to learn this in the parking lot than it is on the first tee with people waiting behind you. Speaking of carts, let's talk about sharing. Unless you specifically paid for your own cart, you're probably sharing with someone. This means you need to figure out who's driving, where you're putting your bags, and how you're going to handle club selection and ball retrieval. It sounds simple, but I've seen people waste 20 minutes per hole because they couldn't figure out basic cart logistics. Here's a pro tip. The person driving the cart should generally be the one whose ball is further from the target. That way, you can drop them off at their ball, continue to your ball, and both hit without having to backtrack. But we'll get more into cart strategy later. Now, let's talk about meeting your playing partners. If you're playing with people you don't know, which happens a lot in business or when you're paired up by the course, first impressions matter a lot. When you meet your group, introduce yourself clearly. Use your real name, not some nickname that only your college buddies know. Shake hands, make eye contact, be friendly, but not overly familiar. These people don't need to know your life story, but they do need to know you're pleasant to be around. This is also when you need to figure out some basic logistics. What tees is everyone playing from? This is important because if you're a beginner, you probably shouldn't be playing from the championship tees just because everyone else is. There's no shame in playing from tees that match your ability level. In fact, it shows good judgment and consideration for the group. You also want to establish who's keeping score. Usually, one person volunteers to be the official scorekeeper, but everyone should be tracking their own score too. And please be honest about your scores. Golf is a game of integrity, and fudging your numbers doesn't impress anyone. Here's something else to discuss. Are you playing any side games or bets? Even small friendly wagers can add fun to the round, but everyone needs to be on the same page about what you're playing and what the stakes are. And if you're not comfortable with betting, just say no. No one's going to think less of you. Now let's talk about warming up, because this is where you can really set yourself up for success or failure. If you have time, and you should make time, hitting some practice balls before your round is one of the smartest things you can do. The practice range isn't just about hitting good shots, although that's nice too. It's about getting a feel for your swing that day, figuring out which clubs are working for you, and mentally preparing for the round. It's also about making sure you're loose and warmed up so you don't hurt yourself on the first tee. Here's how to make the most of your practice time. Start with short irons and work your way up to longer clubs. Hit a few putts on the practice green if there is one. And don't try to fix every problem with your swing. Just get comfortable and confident. And here's what you absolutely cannot do. You cannot use practice time as an excuse to show up late to your tee time. I don't care if you're hitting the ball perfectly on the range. When your tee time comes, you need to be ready to go. Let's talk about supplies, because showing up unprepared is both embarrassing and inconsiderate. You need golf balls, obviously. Bring more than you think you'll need. If you're a beginner, you're probably going to lose some golf balls, and stopping to buy balls in the middle of the round slows everyone down. You also need tees. Bring plenty of different sizes. You need a ball marker, something small and flat to mark your ball's position on the green. A coin works fine. You need a divot repair tool to fix ball marks on the green. Many courses provide these, but having your own shows you're prepared. You probably want a glove if you use one, and maybe a backup glove. You want sunscreen, water, and snacks if it's going to be a long round. And if there's any chance of weather, bring appropriate gear. Here's something most people don't think about. Bring a towel. Golf balls get dirty, clubs get dirty, and your hands get dirty. A towel clipped to your bag or cart makes everything easier. Now about your golf bag. If you're carrying your own bag, make sure it's organized. Clubs should be clean and easy to access. If you're using a cart, make sure your bag fits properly and won't fall off when you're driving around. One more thing about preparation. Know the course if you can. Most courses have websites with course maps, hole descriptions, and local rules. 5 minutes of research can save you a lot of confusion and potential embarrassment during your round. Finally, let's talk about your mindset going into the round. Golf is supposed to be fun. Yes, there are rules and etiquette and expectations, but at the end of the day, you're outside getting exercise and hopefully enjoying good company. Don't put so much pressure on yourself to play perfectly that you forget to actually enjoy the experience. Be realistic about your expectations. If you're new to golf, you're not going to play like Tiger Woods. That's okay. Focus on having good etiquette, being considerate of your playing partners, and learning something new. The golf will improve with time and practice. And remember, everyone was a beginner once. The people you're playing with will understand that you might not be great at golf yet. What they won't understand is if you're unprepared, inconsiderate, or unpleasant to be around. So here's your checklist for arrival and pre-round preparation. Show up early, check in efficiently, meet your playing partners professionally, figure out the logistics, warm up if you have time, make sure you have everything you need, and approach the round with a positive, realistic attitude. Get these basics right, and you're already demonstrating that you understand how golf works, even if your swing still needs some work. And that, my friends, is exactly the impression you want to make.